So this isn't my usual kind of video. It's a bit specific, but it could be useful for you if you're thinking of buying a rooftop tent or you're just someone that likes solving mysteries. Come with me, let me explain. So the first time I put a rooftop tent on my Skoda Yeti, I was hiring one from Decathlon. I purchased my roof bars specifically for putting the rooftop tent on, but I was very confused. So the Decathlon website, the booking page, gave you the information you needed in order to put a roof tent on your car, which was that the roof bars needed to be a minimum of 75 kilograms. I was very confused because the roof bars I purchased, and roof bars in all the main retailers, you know, like car accessory outlets, online, everywhere, they say that 75 kilograms is the maximum load for the roof bars. So I went into Decathlon and they didn't understand it and could not explain it either. And they said, no, all roof bars are the same, 75 kilograms as I had discovered, and it will be fine. So I was only hiring the tent for a weekend. I wasn't buying it. So as long as for driving, I was within my limits of 75 kilograms to drive along the road. I didn't understand the rest, how you could put two people in the tent if an average person, say, weighs about 75 kilograms and the tent itself weighs 55 kilograms. I was very confused, but all that mattered was that while I was driving, I was within these limits. So I do understand now that all these limits that they give are a dynamic load, which means the load while you are driving. And just as a side note, for example, my Skoda Yeti has a 100 kilogram dynamic roof load, and the information of the static roof load isn't available at all from Skoda. I can't find it, which is understandable because it's a car and you need to know the load while you're driving. Why would they work out what the static load is? Fun fact, Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear landed a helicopter on a Skoda Yeti, so I know they are good. But anyway, that aside, and just on another side note, all the tents that I've been looking at are for two people, but just let's suppose you were a bodybuilding couple, so you were very much over the average of the average weight of an adult. You may just want to check what your roof bars and the car, but certainly what the roof bars can take, but there's no figure for that. So while static, you don't have to worry about those weight limits because you have got a lot more to play with, because the car can take a lot more weight when it's static, apart from my little bodybuilders scenario, but that's a whole nother story. So why this now makes a difference with this tent that I've purchased, the dynamic load, there's a great confusion over it, because this tent is the model is the Cargo, and you can get roof bars that go on the top, and I think their roof bars say they have a dynamic load of something like, I think the same as most roof bars, 72 or 75 kilograms, around there. Now, I didn't have any intention of buying the roof bars, so it didn't interest me. However, when I purchased the tent, I got a set complimentary, and I just thought, oh, that would be great for putting like a solar panel on. However, since then, I have just been very, very confused, and here's why. So TentBox have lovely pictures on their website of this Cargo TentBox rooftop tent with their special Cargo roof bars that you can put on top of the tent, and they have lovely pictures of it with a bike and a cargo box. So my question is, are the Cargo roof bars, and in fact the whole Cargo tent, just a useless gimmick? Because, so as I said, here's the numbers. My car has a dynamic load of 100 kilograms. However, that's kind of irrelevant because the roof bars have a limit of 75 kilograms. So even if I have a nice Range Rover or something that maybe has got a higher dynamic load, I'm limited to the 75 kilograms of the roof bar, which everything sits on top. Oh, and just to point out, obviously I'd already purchased my roof bars. All the roof bars on the TentBox website are the same. 75 kilogram limit on the dynamic roof, on the dynamic load. Okay, so we have got, let's just say the dynamic roof load for everybody is 75 kilograms because all the roof bars are 75 kilograms. The tent weighs 72 kilograms. I actually thought it was less when I bought it, but I looked it up for this video and it's actually 72 to my surprise. The roof bars that the special cargo roof bars that TentBox sell to go with this tent have a I think it's 72 kilogram dynamic load. Again, that's kind of irrelevant because it's all sitting on top of these roof bars, which can only take a maximum of 75 kilograms. So with that said, if we did want to put cargo on our cargo tent with the cargo roof bars, we've only got about 3 kilograms at most for our cargo. Yet on the TentBox website, they've got a big cargo box, a bike on top. So it doesn't make sense. What am I missing? It doesn't make any sense if you do the math, even roughly. So all I can see, or it seems to me, that the cargo tent and the cargo roof bars are being marketed with their capabilities and their payload in mind, ignoring the fact that it's all got to sit on top of these roof bars that only have a maximum of 75 kilogram dynamic load. You're probably getting fed up of hearing about this 75 kilograms, but it's important because it's the same capacity of all roof bars, all the ones that I could find for sale and all the ones on the TentBox website. So if I've got my roof bars, 75 kilogram limit, I've got my TentBox, weighs 72 kilograms, I've got my cargo roof bars, which have a capacity which is irrelevant because everything sits on top of my roof bars that carry in everything. Oh, and that's not taking into account the actual weight of the roof bars themselves. I mean, they are very thin, but they do still add on to the load. So I am left with about 3 kilograms of usable cargo load. I've got no weight left. I've got nothing left. So yeah, tell me, how does that make sense? So just to clarify my confusion, and in case it's me that's got something wrong, this is my question. If the TentBox Cargo weighs 72 kilograms and is mounted on roof bars with a 75 kilogram dynamic load rating, how should the remaining allowable roof load be calculated? Does the tent's weight count fully towards the roof bar rating? And if so, how is an additional cargo on the cargo bars permitted? Does that make sense? And if it doesn't make sense to me either. I tell you what, I am still not used to the wobble of this tent. If you are thinking of buying a rooftop tent, this is just something to note. So I did not notice this in the decathlon tent, and obviously I'm guessing that's because of the ladder. Now I specifically wanted this design and this type because I wanted the ladder to be completely independent of the tent. I didn't want it to be a part of you know, the structure. So on the decathlon tent, it folds out and the ladder acts as a you know, a support for the tent. I didn't want that. I just wanted my tent to be purely in the footprint of the car, and nothing being outside of the footprint if I didn't want it to be. So I can take up the ladder, and I am taking up no more than the 4 wheels and the footprint of the car. But what that does mean is that I definitely didn't get that wobble in the Decathlon tent. So when you have got the ladder as part of the support for the tent, you don't feel all that wobble. Anyway, that's just a bit of extra info if you are thinking of buying a rooftop tent. But I specifically needed this design kept within the footprint of the car. If I don't have the ladder, just out of, I don't know, emergency exit, I can actually climb down off the over the back. I think if I didn't have a rotator cuff injury in my shoulder, but it's possible. Yeah, it's doable. I don't know if I could get in. Oh God, I can't wait till this is better. But yeah, emergency exit. Well, this is one thing TentBox have got spot on. I do like that motto. Oh, and while we're talking about roof bars, I do have to say the V4 roof bars that I bought were brilliant, as demonstrated here by one of my favourite feline companions. They were a really good price, and I didn't want to spend too much on roof bars because, as I say, I first got them when I was just renting the Decathlon tent and didn't know whether I was going to be using them much. And they were a fraction of the price of roof bars that were for sale elsewhere. However, they seem to be, well, I don't know because I haven't got any of the others, but according to the spec and the description, they were the same as ones you could get anywhere else, but as I say, at a fraction of the price. And when I went down to TentBox to purchase my tent, because they were so reasonably priced, I was a bit worried that they wasn't strong enough. Maybe they was made of a cheap metal. But anyway, they looked at them, they looked them up online and checked the spec and the details, and they said they was fine. So I'm really pleased with them. So I went to Decathlon the other day, and it took all my strength not to buy a stand-up paddleboard. I bought a couple of very little camping bits, but something else I bought from the auto shop was, look, this organiser thing. So it's for a child to go on the back of the seat, but it's got this like fold down table bit, and I thought that might be quite good for me in the car because I could put the laptop on it. Sometimes I just chuck everything on the passenger seat, so I could have it the other way round on the front of the seat and put that on the passenger seat. Look there, you can see the little table thing. Yeah, and then I can have like next to me like a little tray and a little something. I'm just always looking for ways of, you know, being able to do things and make use of the inside of the car, and it makes such a difference. So I'm going to try this now, see if it fits okay. And the other thing I'm trying to get hold of, which I can't seem to get, is, so I got some before, but I had to take them back because they didn't fit. I'll put some up on the screen, but it's like this grill thing so that I can wind down the window with Terry inside, and then nobody can put their hand in. But I can't find one anywhere. And don't tell me Amazon, because here we don't have Amazon, and you have to pay ridiculous postage charges for one, and for two, stuff can take weeks and weeks. So I don't know where to get that from. That's my biggest problem at the moment, is trying to get things. So yeah, as I say, it does go on the back of the seat, obviously, but I don't see why I couldn't put it on the front. Your nose in the back, obviously, of his car kennel, but it's a little bit smaller than what I imagined. I don't know why. Yeah, actually, I don't know why I'm opening that. That's down there. So look, I've got that there, and then I could like have stuff under here and then put stuff here. Yeah, I think that's quite good. Oh look, that's big enough for a drinks cup. And I think that could be quite useful. That's it. Yeah, and as I say, I can, I'm just thinking, can I tie it somewhere here to have, because you can get those little things for laptops, but yeah, and I could sit in the back seat if I can get a look in on the back seat with Terry owning his domain. But I think that's quite handy, because you could put that in other places as well. So, like I said, Terry is obviously in the car because he thinks this is kennel, don't you, Terry? Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I disturb you? Yeah. So I could. Let's see. Are my legs too long? Get this on. I can put that there and. Yeah, just that to have it whatever thing you want. Yeah. Just got to give that some adjusting, untwist that. But yeah, get the drift. I think that could be useful. Another place to sit, a bit more. It's like an aeroplane. Yeah, I think that can be useful. It's quite good. And that could go anywhere. It could go at the back of the door. It could, I like that. I think that's handy. So as I said, it's marketed for kids, but yeah, even just keeping that on the back of the chair to get covered in Terry's hairs. Yeah, I like that. Right, while we're at it, there's something else I want to show you. Perhaps you've got some ideas. So these doors, all this is a completely wasted space. Because this is very shallow, there's a limit to what you can put in here. But if this had some kind of cover, then I could use these as really deep pockets. You can see I did screw, there's some little holes there. I can't remember what I put up. I think it was a little cargo net, but it didn't work. But if anybody's got any ideas for that, to adapt these so that I've got nice big pockets, because that's a wasted space. Because it makes a really big difference when you do these little hacks. Because I'll show you what I did at the back. I drilled a couple of holes in here. Oh, this is another story. I might pick your brains about that as well. So I drilled some holes here so that I could just put these good old Temu, which we can't use anymore because I'd have to add for every little item like this, you have to add now €3 import charge. But it was great for little things like this that you just cannot find anywhere else. So I bought some of these toggles, and then I did this for my walking sticks and my umbrellas, because this has a, goes in there, and I thought that's the perfect place to store things. The other thing I did was I just used these shelves as just a wasted space. I can't take this off because this is taped down. I just put some double-sided tape there to make a little pocket, and I can just keep things in there. I can still see out this rear view window, but little things like that really make a difference. The other thing I really want is, so this roof is a wasted space, and I would like to put a cargo net up there, because it's a great place to put, if you get in the car and you've got a wet coat or wet things, I mean, you can hang a coat up on the back of the seat, but if you've got several wet things, if you've been like out hiking in the rain, then you can just put them up in the cargo net and they can actually air out a bit and dry. If you're not stationary, if you have to be driving. And so I can put them on the handle thing there, but there's nothing attached to attach them to at the back. So I'm wondering if I could screw something in here, or, you know, I am not worried about putting holes and things in this car. I'm never going to sell it. I'm going to use it till I run it to the ground. I'm not worried about ruining the resale value at all. So yeah, that's another thing I'd like. The other thing is, this mat, I just thought it was only a couple of euros, because my problem is this, the driver's mat wears out a lot quicker than all the others. And I am sick of buying a whole pack of mats just because I need the driver's side. One, it's a waste. You know, we're constantly patronisingly told how to save the planet. Well, can you make available car mats? Loads of people only use the driver's seat. People own a car and it's the driver's side that's always getting the wear and tear and the other's hardly getting any. And the other problem is, because this is probably the only problem I have having a right-hand drive in Portugal, is that the driver's mat has extra reinforcement, but obviously my driver's side is on the other side. So if anyone's coming from the UK and can bring me some Skoda mats, yeah, so little things like that I really need to sort out. And it's, as I say, it's really difficult buying stuff here. You right, Terry? Hey? You right? Am I disturbing you? Am I? I'm not. I am not rubbing your belly. I'm not rubbing your belly. I'm not your slave. She says, as she gives in. He's a good boy.